Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. We are here on the second day of Festival Media LATAM 2018. We are by the poolside at the Turnberry Isle, where we're about to do a little conversation around data and what's happening in Latin America around data. I am here with Cristiano Nobrega, who's the CEO of Tail. So Cristiano, how are you? How has the first 2 days of Festival of Media been for you?
Oh, thank you. It's awesome. I mean, it's my fifth time here in Formula, so the event's really amazing. Many people here around, like for networking and stuff. It's also a huge opportunity to get together with friends and see good insights from content. So this is really nice.
Wonderful. And a lot of the insight we've seen has all been based, and a lot of the presentations around data, which is really interesting, and how data is driving everything from creativity to personalization. However, you know, you've been 5 years and you've seen me and you've seen many other presentations talk around how Latin America has always been kind of quite, what's the word, a little bit like the Wild West when it comes to data.
That's right.
And there were two main providers, or should we say one main provider, that people have lost trust in. But how has that changed, or if at all has, over the last couple of years?
Yeah, that's right. I'd say that the market in Latin America is really heterogeneous. So you have many different applications of data in different countries. Of course, that we are originally from Brazil, so I'd say that Brazil is like 2 or 3 years ahead of the average of the market. So we are trying to understand this very favorable situation to bring the best offer for the rest of the market. But right now we're seeing that the market is fast growing, especially in Argentina, in Colombia, Mexico, Chile, and the whole market is getting more mature in terms of data and how to be more data driven, especially from the marketers, because perhaps like 2 or 3 years ago, the agenda was really encapsulated in the media buying agenda only for media buyers like trading desks and programmatic. But right now we are seeing everything spreading out in terms of how to use data in different projects and situations. So this is really this is a really encouraging tale to keep investing in, keep track on this market.
Absolutely, an interesting point there. You're absolutely right. You know, one thing that has certainly changed, not just in Latin America but around the globe, is brands taking back, advertisers taking back far more power, aren't they? And taking much more of a, I suppose, an interest in the data they're getting, particularly when you have the likes of Mark Pritchard from P&G talking about how they need to have full transparency. So it leads me beautifully into that question of, in terms of strategic data, how are brands utilizing strategic data, particularly in Latin America?
Yeah, that's really important issue, because you know, if you consider that the data right now is still being used in the media buying agenda, and you see many other applications where you can use this data and the data capabilities. I'd say that the most important thing for the brands is how to surpass the silos that they have in the organization, either from the communication agenda toward to CRM, mobile apps and mobile devices being used for data. If you have silos like in different projects to tap different data sources such as web, app, CRM, then you're going to be in trouble. But the brands who are ahead in the data-driven strategy, using all those data sources in the same perspective, in the same data intelligence approach, those are succeeding right now. So I think this is the most important approach that you should consider in your strategy if you want to use data, especially if you're under that the digital transformation wave. Yes. That everybody is trying to tap to address, and you know that without data you are not able to make any transformation in digital. So
this is very true. And are you finding any particular sectors have really started to understand data more than others? So i.e. whether it be finance or pharmaceutical or luxury goods, are you finding any of those sectors are kind of ahead of the game in LATAM in particular?
Yeah, I'd say that in general you have a very, again, heterogeneous situation, but perhaps I'd say that the autos or either the e-commerces, especially in Brazil, which is a pretty strong market, and also beauty. You have very good players which are doing a great job in terms of how to build value over data, and we are trying to help them in this perspective.
And in terms of what happens going forward from here on in, at Tail you're obviously developing new techniques and new tools to help create this data and use this data. It's such a vast pool. Data can mean so many things to different people. How do you ensure that people have got the right data at the right place at the right time?
I'm using to say that it's not about deciding whether you're going to use first-party data, third-party data. Eventually, you need to use any sort of source of data that you can be provided with to enrich your understanding over your clients, over the consumers that can buy your products, your services. So eventually you need to take advantage of having everything to build up this value over your data intelligence project. So I'd say that right now, especially we've been developing two special approaches and brand new approaches to the market. We've been succeeding in doing this in Brazil, and we're trying to bring that to other Hispanic markets in Latin America, which are the CRM activation, so CRM onboarding, data onboarding, which is a really amazing capability where you can take advantage of having your CRM data ingested on media buyings, and especially having the digital data, the web browsing, the geolocation, enriching the understanding that you have over your clients already registered in your database. And the other solution that we are providing right now is the geolocation and geobehavior data. This sort of data, it's also strategic because you can also tap the understanding of how your consumer, how your audience is displacing themselves over different geolocated points, and using this information to better understand the journey that they have toward the consumption, and especially using this data to target this audience in in-app campaigns, which are, I'd say, the new frontier of marketers in Latin America right now. So definitely this would be really hot in the next coming months.
Yeah. And that also sounds very interesting in one reason, because what you often find is all of these companies have data. They say, oh, I've got realms of data, and the data just sits there and they don't actually do anything with it. Is that still an issue in Latin America? Is that still a piece that you need to educate particularly advertisers on, and to a degree agencies, because they have all this data and you always get frustrated because they don't actually use it, right?
Yeah, that's right. We've been in the market for 7 years. And it's all about evangelizing the market and bringing training, information, sharing business cases to make the market understand how valuable the data, either the data that they have inside their organization, the first-party data, third-party data from everywhere, exchanging data throughout different platforms is also very powerful for any project. But eventually, this is a matter of bring the information and share this experience with the market to make them improve their applications and improve their projects toward the best that you can grab from data. So definitely this is going to still be the one of the most important challenges that we have currently in the market.
Yeah, absolutely. And what, we talk about them using data. What are the big challenges you see? What does the industry need to do to ensure that, it's particularly in Latin America, that the data is used correctly and it's gathered in the right way and actually will help drive ultimately, revenue increases, brand amplification?
I'd say that in general you should understand which are your goals. Without goals you don't have a project. That's the main point, and I still need to say that mostly the market is lack of understanding their goals in terms of how to use data. So if you set the goals, if you set the correct goals to your project, then you have something really valuable to pursue. Any platform can be important and helpful to build up the value over the data that you're going to grab in different sources. But again, if you have a clear understanding of where you want to what you want to reach, where you want to get based on the data you have on your hands. That's the kickoff for any project to be successful. So I'd say that this is going to be really the starting point for everyone who wants to take advantage of data in their organization, their strategy.
And so what does success look like for Tail over the next 6 to 12 months?
I'd say that firstly we are still investing in the expansion, especially in Latin America. It's our room, it's our space where we understanding we can bring the most valuable solutions for the market. We understand that we still have to invest a lot because the market again is really heterogeneous. The advantage of being here, for instance, to share our knowledge and experience that we have over these 7 years working with data is really fundamental to help the market understanding how they can also take advantage of this. In the next coming years, I'd say that we have a huge challenge, not only in terms of the solutions that we're going to bring to the market, but especially in terms of how we can also simultaneously tap the transparency and all the rules that you have under GDPR and all the ethics and things that's around data and the data usage, especially when we talk about personal data. So Tails has an important role in this matter, either in Brazil or in other countries where we are ahead and evolving different efforts to bring to the market this understanding. And besides, in terms of solutions, I'd say again that using the capability of using CRM and using the mobile data, especially geolocation, geobehavior, that would be game-changing in the next months. Tail, right now we have, just to give you an idea, over 100 million hashed PII already synced with cookies. So which means that single IDs such as emails or in Brazil CPFs like social security IDs, cell phones and stuff can be instantly connected with cookies to understand and find out where your consumer is in the web. Consider that we also are tapping the geobehavior data, the geolocation data, location-based data throughout apps. It's also possible to make the linkage between the user as a device ID over the cookie in the web, so you understand cross-platform, cross-devices, how to address any communication, any relevant communication to those clients, those prospects that you have. So coming up with these capabilities, we are really confident that the market in the next coming months is going to take advantage of a huge opportunity of building up value over their data and to understand how they can better shape the value proposition throughout the journey of the consumers toward their product and service. So this is going to be quite a challenge, but we are confident and able to provide this solution to the market.
That is a huge challenge, but also the Holy Grail, right? If you can, you can work out a person's digital journey from device to device.
And the good news is that we have several business cases, especially in Brazil, where brands are already taking advantage of all this with Tail, backing up them with those capabilities. So this is the reality. This is now.
Yes, looking good. Looking good. We like that. Well, thank you very much, Cristiano.
Thank you so much.
Much appreciated. Thank you for taking time. That was good. I like that.
Thank you.
Thank you.